Good morning, this is day 79 on my PCT adventure. I am just got on trail. It's a little past 7:30, so kind of an earlier start today. Per usual, did not sleep well, even though I was laying in bed for about 8 hours or so, 7 hours. I only got 4 hours and 29 minutes of sleep, and that's just compounding. That's over 15 days in a row now I've slept like that, so it really starts to wear on me. But had a good convo with the guys I camped with last night about timing and what's left and getting to Canada. So we're all gonna aim for 23 miles today. We'll see if that can happen. I'll catch y'all on the on trail. It's been a nice, peaceful morning so far. Naturally, I was the last one out of camp, but I did get out earlier than normal. Again, a really rough night's sleep. I'm so just irritable, kind of a little irritable, kind of cranky from the compounding poor rest. So probably gonna have to take a zero. I want to and planning to in Tahoe, just to kind of recuperate, even though that digs me a bit more of a hole. Hopefully I can make it up after. Body's a little sore, but at the moment nothing is debilitating pain. So I feel my knee a little bit and my bottom of my feet. Nothing too crazy at the moment, which is great. Maybe my plan to rest kind of in Yosemite and sort of take it a little easier those days helped. We'll see. It's good to be back out here. I just wish I didn't feel so groggy all the time. Like, it's really tough hiking 20-mile days when you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, broken sleep at night. Steep. I passed two people going up in the other direction, and they're like, hey, you got a steep climb ahead of you, but man, they were not kidding. I'll take this all day over the ones with the steps. So it's been a grind. I'm sweating bullets. It's like a green bug carrying a dead giant spider. I'm sleepy, tired, fatigued from that. Haven't caught up on any rest yet, hopefully in Tahoe. But body-wise, I'm feeling a little optimistic and strong. Like I have some aches in my feet, and my knee I feel it a little bit, and my right glute, sciatic nerve thing I feel a little bit. But man, very, very manageable. Haven't even taken painkillers today, and I'm making a great time. Been going at a 3 mile an hour pace, even with these steep uphills. And definitely not a race, and we leapfrog each other, but I've passed everyone, the 3 homies I camped with and the 2 other people that were at my campsite, even though I started 15 minutes after them. And it has nothing to, it's not a comparison thing, it's just, except for like myself, it's really good to have a day like this where I feel strong, measurable, 3 miles an hour, cruising by, feeling good. So hopefully this holds up. I don't want to undermine how insanely tired and fatigued I am, but I'm feeling good in that sense. It's a nice High Sierras-esque meadow here, even though we're not in the High Sierras anymore, which I'm very grateful for. I think I mentioned it explicitly, but unpopular opinion, the Sierras were cool, especially Forester Pass, amazing. But everything after the first few passes, let's say through Glen Pass, maybe Mirror Pass even, everything after that, I didn't like it that much. I enjoyed the desert better. I'm enjoying this more. Like, look at this, this is great. Still see some mountains, some snow. So yeah, people always rave about the Sierras, but that said, everyone I've spoken to has said the section basically through Yosemite, so kind of after Mirror Pass up to, or let's say from Tuolumne Meadows to Sonora Pass was like one of the absolute hardest, if not the hardest of the trail so far. That's consensus, if not unanimous. And I've spoken to over 10 people about it now that are through hiking the PCT. So anyways, cool to see another meadow. Happy to be where I'm at. Cool to see the moon up there. Just cranked through 2 miles of incline. It was pretty gradual though. I think it was only about 800 feet total, but still hard. So I think I just hit the peak of that little section. Feeling good. I'll probably put in a few more miles. I really tried to take my lunch at my halfway point. So that would be, I think I'm about 9.5 miles in on the day. It is, I think maybe like 11:30 or something like that. So I'll try to put in one more hour, get a few more miles and try to get around that 12 mark. Then take a break for lunch and power through the afternoon. Correction, it's only 11 a.m. I started a little bit before 8, like 7:40 something. I'm over 9.5 miles in, so it's exactly roughly it's roughly a 3-mile pace. So maybe if I want to try to get a halfway point, maybe I'll put another hour and a half if I can, and have a snack and then take a break. Feet are hurting, but overall feeling, back's a little sore, but I'm feeling okay. Beautiful, beautiful view. Just love that moon peeking out. It's probably an adjective I say beautiful all the time, but don't use too much. It was very pretty. All these flowers, you got red, purple, and yellow in there. Very, very nice. Kind of unique structure there in the mountain on the sides. These rocks are not that dissimilar of a color to the snow right behind it. Alright, I'm 12 miles in and a little over 4 hours in the day. I feel really good about that. I'm gonna chill here for an hour, like stretch, massage my feet and legs, and eat lunch and rehydrate. But the guys who dropped us off yesterday had this plant in the back of their car, and I believe it was this one, pretty sure. They said it's an invasive species, so you can remove it, but because they were involved in that kind of stuff. But I've seen it all over. I thought at first it was kind of cool, but now the more that I look at it, especially with the lens of being an invasive species, it is kind of really taken over. So yeah. Alright, just had a nice hour and a half rest. Ended up falling asleep for a little bit. That's the only positive of being so exhausted and sleeping poorly out here, is get these nice little naps in, which feel good. I don't know how long I fell asleep for, probably like 10-15 minutes, but got a stretch in, Had a big lunch. Hung out with the guys for a bit. Rambo and Noah, they got there shortly after I did, so we hung out. I think we've extended our... I think we're gonna try to hike, kind of hike together for these few days and then get into Tahoe at the same time and split a place. So we extended our target for the day to 25 miles because we're all feeling like we're doing pretty good today. So that means I got about 14 miles left, 13 and a half to be exact. It is 1:30, so plenty of time to do that. But I want to keep the pace up, so I will check back in a bit. Check out this cliff or wall. Wow, I looked up and just honestly was kind of speechless. It's so cool, the colors and the topography. Very cozy. So tired still, just from these last 15 days, like that brief little nap, and I had like kind of like a double lunch. Been a bit of a food coma. I feel like a walking zombie, kind of. Thankfully, this part I had to climb up a bit, but looks like it's mostly downhill for the next couple miles, and then naturally it goes back up. Man, talk about a little scare. I'm sure you can hear all these, like, I don't know what they are, cicadas or crickets or whatever, making all this noise. Well, one of them jumped or flew directly on the back of my backpack. It was like right behind my head, and it was like so loud I could hear it from behind both ears. Very startling. Lots of trees. In the app, far out, which pretty much sucks overall. This is listed as a quote-unquote seasonal creek. This is really flowing at pretty late in the year for a seasonal creek, but check this out. So cool how that's formed in there. Halfway through, about a mile climb up. Wish it was a bear or something, but there's another deer. I'm in the middle of another decent climb here. It goes like 800 and some feet, over a mile and a half up. But I feel pretty darn good for being almost 19 miles in. I'm grateful for that. I had to take a rest before this uphill section for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, put up my feet and rehydrate, but very grateful for how I'm feeling right now. It's a rare feeling thus far, hopefully not going forward. Similar view to the last one like this, just higher up. You can see the lake now. Check out this almost a little bit Arizona-esque type topography again, the beautiful valley view. Here comes Rambo and Noah, reaching the peak, super windy. How we feeling, guys?
Good.
Yeah.
Feeling good. How you feeling?
Feeling dangerous. Pretty sure many of these are bristlecone pines because I visited the ancient bristlecone forest, like that one there. In the back is. Probably a lot of these actually. Very cool. Excuse me, I'm chewing, but I just got off that pass. It was super windy up there, but there was actually service. So I planned out with two guys just hiking with, Rambo and Noah. Low mileage left, so we have 42 miles left to get to Lake Tahoe after today. It's 47 from up there. We're gonna do 5 more today. So that puts us, we want to maximize the day in town. So basically we'll just knock those 42 miles out over the next 2 days. Probably like 21, 22, something like that. 21 each day. And then get up super early and get a hitch or something into town and maximize time. So we grabbed an Airbnb near the border. I've never been to Tahoe before. I'm excited. So should be a good adventure. Beautiful, beautiful valley. Lake down in there. Look at that. I'm so happy with this change of scenery. Well, as I came down into this valley, I was up there earlier, and that's where I was able to book the Airbnb. I still had service, so I called my parents. One's volunteering right now. They both volunteered a lot of stuff, but one's volunteering. And the other's home, so I called them separately, and it was really nice to FaceTime them and say hi. I don't have service very often on trail and get to do that, and so that was really great and nice. And now I'm going to listen to some Beethoven because I'm in this beautiful valley to get me through these next 4 or 5 miles, probably 4 now. And so I'll flip the camera in a sec while the sun's going down, so let me do that. I mean, it's getting shady here. I'm sort of in this valley. Up there is where I was looking down in earlier. Very pretty and beautiful. And I'll probably check in a little bit, or otherwise, there's a lake down here. Let's keep the camera rolling for that, and then I'll probably check in at the campsite. Planning to camp by a lake, not this one, but it'll be great. All right, very nice. I will say there's nothing in my experience like classical music to really make a beautiful scenery seem more dramatic and awesome. This is so beautiful with this Beethoven Symphony No. 9, which is the only one I've downloaded at the moment. I had other classical music and much downloaded, but I had to clear it all out on Spotify to make room for these videos on my phone. I'm still trying to, that's just a band-aid. I really need to solve that issue soon, but yeah, very cool to listen to and look at the scenery. Some cool kind of unique rock formation that I've seen this far down in this valley. Those are the bristlecones. I don't know if they're all referred to as ancient. I presume it's just the ancient bristlecone pine forest I was in, but that is the species for sure. Very interesting how they're growing on the cliff there. Nice waterfall and valley trail also. You can see it there, kind of goes up and over and around. Climbing back up other side of the valley. It's been a hard day. I think total elevation gain will be probably somewhere in the high 4,000s and descent somewhere in the low to mid 5,000s. But I'm grateful. I feel pretty good today overall. Strong. Nothing's hurting too much. It's such a nice change of pace. I'm sure I'll be very sore tomorrow. Still probably got about 2.5 to 3 miles left here. Well, since that valley with the river has been a steep incline, certainly not a loss of beautiful views. I am so hungry. I've gone through all my snacks, but I do have more if I need them in my bag. It's definitely such a noticeable difference having sufficient nutrition. Only time I haven't was those 2 days basically, or 3 days prior to this stint, going into Sonora Pass. And I think I'll probably err on the side of carrying extra food like I had been the whole time. Did want to test that out, but it's really hard to push this kind of mileage. Like, this will be 25 miles in a day without sufficient nutrition. I mean, it's so hard on your body, and especially not getting good sleep. Like, your body's just crushed, and it needs the fuel to perform like this day in and day out. So I have gone through all 5 of my snacks, including, and I had actually like double lunch kind of, and I had a 500 calorie Danish Hostess Danish breakfast. But very much looking forward to getting to camp. I've got about a mile to go and making dinner. I'll have to see if I can find what that is, but at the top of that hill there, way up there, is actually an American flag, which is pretty dope. Here's a better view. I mean, that is a remote place to get to. I really wonder what's up there. Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest. I don't know if I'm saying the last one right. Just in the corner. The rocks almost look a little Joshua Tree-esque, deserty. And then you got the beautiful pines and the sun hitting that mountain in the back. Pretty nice. Getting my first views of Sherald Lake. This will be home for the night. It's supposed to be some nice tent sites right in the water. Well, look at that. This is where we're trying to camp. American flags right there. Sorry for the zoom in and zoom out. It's hard with one hand and trekking poles and everything. All right, I think I'm gonna make dinner here. This is just a little bit behind where I'm camped, but what a view. It was even more beautiful when the sun was reflecting a little more on those mountains, but pretty awesome spot to be. Does remind me a little bit, at least the valley parts of the Smokies out east, but then the mountain parts remind me more of like a Arizona vibe. Well, I'm gonna call this the end of day 79. I will catch y'all tomorrow. I feel a little sore, but honestly, like, this is one of those few days. I think I can remember 2 others this whole trail that just stood out, where it's like, wow, I feel okay. Like, I'm sore, a little throbbing, I need a stretch later, but like, didn't take any ibuprofen or Tylenol today, and did 25 miles, and I feel decent. So I'm grateful for that. And 42 miles left now to Lake Tahoe. So split that between the next 2 days. I'll see you all tomorrow.